So, here is the reason why I believe that the soul is real. For the longest time, what has happened is that I was never listening to my inner voice. And many of us do have an inner voice, but what we tend to do is we tend to usually suppress it or push it away. We push it away thinking that I know better or the mind knows better. And the inner knowing or the deeper knowing of your body is usually shut down because that's how schools work, that's how education system works, and that's how our working culture works, is that you shut down your inner navigation system and you adopt a navigation system which is given to us from external means. And whenever you have an instinctive reaction or a response, you're told to say no to it. You're told to say no, that's not the right answer, but my mind knows because logically this is the correct answer. But what happens is the soul, like many people experiencing burnout or a complete crash or depression or anger, is the reason behind this is that because you have suppressed layers and layers of your soul's internal needs. Like if your soul is screaming like go take a break or you need to be somewhere quiet, and you just don't agree to that and you just go in the opposite direction of that, you just tell yourself no, and you're just gonna do the worst thing that is ever to be done. Like for a long time I would just be like, no, I know I need to hustle, I need to stay up till 2 a.m., I need to stay up till 3 a.m. So what am I doing? I'm overriding every instinctive reaction of my body. I'm teaching myself that my body is not intelligent enough. I'm teaching myself that my inner voice is not to be heard. I'm constantly teaching myself to suppress everything that I know about myself. This is also because for the longest time people around me as well kept telling me, hey, you know what? I know what is better for you. So why don't you just do that? And this is how like our parents function as well. They have tested a few things according to themselves, and then they're going to tell you that this is what you need to do. And what do we do? Because we are at that time are already confused and we don't know about this in our navigation system. Some of us just tend to agree because there's so much fear that they imbibe in us. Like they just teach you in this manner. They just probably tell you something like, if you don't do this, this will happen. So what happens is our brain immediately gets hijacked by the fight or flight nervous system mode. So what we do is we start fighting with the situation. We start fighting hard with the situation. We say to ourselves that it's impossible that I'm going to do this, so I need to push harder. I need to override every instinct that I'm getting from inside because that's what my mom told me or that's what my dad taught me. And that is exactly the problem, that we just override all these emotions. But over time, luckily for me, what happened was it's luckily or unluckily is like I had to go through a divorce, and even after I went through a divorce and I had a good relationship later, for some reason there was this inner being which kept screaming at me that this is not it, you need to like, this is not you, or this is not who you are. And for some reason I dared to listen to that voice, even though it was talking about something very random or vague, which was like a very humming disturbance from the background, right? Like if you become very aware of yourself, then you kind of listen to that. And when I started listening to that, I realized that I just did the craziest things. Like I did not do the logical things. I didn't do the things that people say, this is illogical, this is logical. So I didn't go after the logical things. I just went after the things that my inner voice was saying, like, what are you doing? Like, this is not you. You're going against yourself. And so I decided that I'm going to go, first of all, figure out what is this voice? What is it trying to say? And I just followed that. And I think this is what the Ghibli movies are about, because for a long time I was very attracted to Studio Ghibli movies, because if you watch the movies, in Ghibli movies there's usually like a nice little, there's like a cat or there's some kind of mystical thing that's walking around, and the boy or the girl is supposed to go to school, but instead they just chase the cat one day and see what happens. I feel like it was something like that. It was like I could relate this feeling to that. That something is calling me in the opposite direction, even though it is not making sense to any of society. And so what I did was I just followed that slowly. I tried to understand, and in the meantime, I was also talking to many people about. I was talking to many people about what I'm doing and what I'm looking for. These nudges already were from within. Like there was once, because I did a Vipassana meditation course, one of the nudges were like, do a course in Buddhism. And when I tried to do a course in Buddhism, that course got cancelled. And so I had to look elsewhere. But funnily enough, the easiest option for me, of course, was to go to India because I'm Indian. So I went to India, and randomly, my mom one day told me that, hey, why don't you do this yoga course? You know, you've been saying this for a long time, and my friend's daughter has done this course, and she really liked it, and she really liked the place too. So this really gave me like a nudge. I was thinking that, okay, you know, this sounds something promising. This sounds like something I would like to do. So I went ahead and I went ahead and inquired about the price of the yoga course, and it was very expensive. So what I did was I joined an alternative school. And funnily enough, when I landed in that school, I didn't like it. And then I reached out to the same school, which was more expensive, and I called them and I said, hey, look, I'm not liking the school. I've come all this way. Can you find me a slot? And they said, yeah, we do have one last slot left, and there's one individual room if you would like to take it. So I went there, I bargained, I did like some sort of negotiations, and then finally I got into that yoga school. And from there, kind of like the breadcrumbs started to I started to follow the sort of breadcrumbs from there on. I started understanding more about yoga and yoga asanas, but not just asanas. Philosophy was something which actually really made me happy. Philosophy was something which made me very, very curious. I was so enamored by the Indian philosophy that I had to do something about that. And luckily, there was already the philosophy teacher who was teaching me. So I asked him, hey, like, where did you learn this? What do you do? From there on, then he told me that there's this school that teaches you. And so I went in and inquired about the school. So this is how I like kind of followed a very non-linear path for myself. And I feel so happy about this because no matter what anyone thinks about how I lead my life, I feel like at least I know what I'm doing, or at least I have an idea that this is what matters to me and this is what I really enjoy. So if you, I mean, like it's the thing about us is that it's very hard to stop when we are in a race. It's very hard to go against that. For me, for a long time, I was going against, and I was thinking, yeah, I have to work harder, I have to push harder. And at some point, I was like, for what? You know, what am I doing this for? Who am I doing this for? And luckily for me, I got a lot of insights or kind of like aha moments where I realized that this is not right for me. This is not who I am, and this is not what I really enjoy. And there is no point of living like this for someone who doesn't even care about me, because there were times when people showed me their true faces, and I understood that you know, everyone is on their own, and like kind of everyone is doing their own thing, and it's not like they care about you. It's just that they're worried, or they're just like they're projecting their own insecurities onto you, or they're saying that, hey, look, you can't go that way because we don't know how to guide you there. But eventually you will find other people who will guide you in the right direction, which, you know, you kind of follow as the path evolves. And so this is my this is what I want to share about. And I hope that this video has helped you to understand that there is something internally that you need to follow, and that's like your internal compass, and that's something that is going to take you to your own unique directions. I can for sure say that is not everything is not going to be easy. Sometimes we also have to use our own minds, where we go and think like, okay, what if I move here? Will it remove some sort of a pressure off my head? Like before I started this channel, or even before I started doing what I really enjoy doing, I had to get the pressure of my I had to get the pressure of the day to day sort of functioning from my head, and also I had to heal a lot. So I cut down all my expenses, and I kind of sacrificed a lot on my comforts, because there wasn't a better way for me to do it. If you have comforts and you can do it that way, it's amazing, because what can be better than that? And try not to numb yourself with like substances, friends, too many distractions, because the world is filled with cheap dopamine, and at any moment takes you away from the real things. The real things actually take time to build. They create a lot of friction. They really create a lot of discomfort. Like it's like learning a musical instrument. When you're first learning, there's going to be so much discomfort. You're going to face pain. You're going to face some kind of a doubt. Okay, can I really play this instrument or not? Maybe I'm not good at it. But it's not about you not being good at it. It's about that you not ever exercising that muscle. So this is what I realized. So when I learn something new, now I tell myself that, look, you've never ever done this before. So there is no point of blaming yourself. There is everyone goes through this path of this difficulty in learning an instrument. And there are so many factors. Sometimes the teachers are not good, sometimes the group is not good, sometimes the time is not right. And about the timing, I'm going to make another video about that. But timing is something that really matters. So these are the factors that usually push us away from things that we want to do. It's like timing is not right. And also many of the times we are standing in our own way. Like there were so many times when I was telling myself, no, this is not possible, I gotta do this, I gotta do it the other way. Yeah, but when the time comes, you will do it. Even if right now may not be the time, perhaps there will be another time. Like for me, I started guitar, but that was not the good time, because even though there was a group, the teacher was not so great, and the teacher couldn't hold my attention for too long. But when the time comes, you learn an instrument, and the right teacher appears and the right group appears. I don't know how all this works, but I hope that you understand that I'm talking about how to follow your soul or your deeper inner instincts instead of following what everyone is doing. I hope this helps. Subscribe to my, I hate to say this, subscribe to my channel, and perhaps if you really like my content, comment on it and share with me what you would like to hear, and so that I can share my experiences. And I hope that this helps others out there who are not able to understand what this disconnection is about.